The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I welcome back all my colleagues from all corners of this country. I'm sure every senator enjoyed spending time with constituents as much as I did. I'm sure all eager to get back to the business of legislating. The work period we begin today is an important one. Like every work period, it represents a new opportunity to move past the partisan stalemates of recent months and find common ground on our most pressing priority, putting people back to work. I hope the weeks between now and Columbus Day will be productive weeks. There really is no reason they shouldn't be. The issues we'll be dealing with aren't partisan or ideological. They have the support of Democratic, Republican, and Independent senators. They have the support of Democratic, Republican, Independent constituents. And all of us have a common obligation and a shared interest in doing all we can to get our economy moving again. If we're to adopt a slogan to guide us in the coming weeks, I'd nominate something a colleague of ours said just a few days ago. The senior senator from Ohio, Senator George Voinovich, a Republican, was talking last week about the standoffs that have stalled the Senate, gridlock that has kept us in recent months from realizing our ability and fulfilling our responsibility to help small businesses. Here he said, and I quote, "We don't have time for messaging. We don't have time anymore. This country is really hurting," end of quote. Senator Voinovich is right. Small businesses across Nevada are hurting. Small businesses across my friend's state of Ohio are hurting. Small businesses across the state of Oregon are hurting. All over this country, they're hurting from coast to coast because credit and capital are too hard to come by. The owners of these businesses aren't interested in partisan rhetoric, and neither are the people who they've had to lay off or the unemployed they've had to turn away. People in Nevada and throughout the nation are too busy keeping track of their businesses' books or their family's budget to keep track of who's scoring political points. They're not interested in any of that. They're simply desperate for us to do our jobs, and that is to help create jobs. That's what the first senators will cast on tomorrow, vote tomorrow. So that's what it's all about. Tomorrow we'll decide whether to move ahead with a bill that helps more small businesses to be the engine that runs our economy. When most Americans go to work in the morning, or whenever they go to work during the day, they don't go to the big corporations with the famous names. They go to work at small businesses. But those businesses are also the ones that have paid the highest price in Wall Street's recession. 2 out of every 3 jobs we've lost came from small business. Our bill is not a new one, and tomorrow's won't be the first time we voted on it. But to refresh my colleagues' memories, let me briefly remind everyone what's in it. 1, it cuts small business taxes so they can hire and grow. 2, it increases Small Business Administration loan limits, which gets money flowing to the entrepreneurs who create these jobs we need. 3, it makes it easier for small businesses to export what they make. And 4, among other things, it creates a new lending fund to that which will give small banks, as community banks, and by extension small businesses, more capital to invest. Most importantly, this bill will create jobs, up to 500,000 of them, up to 500,000 jobs. But every day we delay, the opposite happens. Small businesses are holding off on hiring while they wait for us to act. Banks, large and small, are holding onto their capital while they wait for us to act. And 500,000 Americans who want to work, people who are ready to get off unemployment and get back to the job that they so desperately had or one that they need, are desperate for us to get our act together. So we need to go to work. As the Republican senator from Florida, Senator Lemieux, said when we last debated this bill, remember Senator Lemieux is a Republican, he said it should get the support of more than 80 senators. As my friend, the Republican senator from Ohio, said, we don't have time anymore for political games. Our citizens are hurting too much. I yield the floor.